Welcome to Spiritual Ambition, where we tune in to awaken our divine nature and explore the provocative inner force compelling us toward our fullest potential. If you've achieved external success but feel a deeper calling, if you're tired of dimming your light to fit in, and you know there's a more powerful way to live and lead and love, you're in the right place. Host Donna Bond is a best-selling author, modern-day high priestess, and catalyst for personal transformation. Together, we're birthing a new paradigm of loving leadership, integrating our humanity with divine wisdom as our individual awakening serves collective evolution. Here's your host of Spiritual Ambition, Donna Bond.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much for being here live. This is Spiritual Ambition, and it's really your opportunity to tune in to awaken your divine nature. And it is my highest intention to give you an experience of your divine nature and your magnificence. You have this incredible essence, this beautiful brilliance inside of you that can be covered up and hidden away through the personality patterns and conditioning that we all get to deal with in our human experience. Today's show is about empowering skill sets for soul connection. And, presence is not something that we do. It's our truth. It's beneath all of the doing. When we are fully present, it's only then that we're able to really access and bring forward our original wisdom. Our original wisdom is this inherent intelligence. This inherent intelligence that is in all beings, that is really rooted in the energy of loving. Just think about that for a minute, the energy of loving, right? This beautiful frequency that is kind of yummy. It's kind of delicious. And this is your truth, the essence of who you are. And, we learn a lot of skill sets over the course of our life. And we're going to talk about all of the different skill sets that we learn. But we are not often taught about skills that will enable us to have a deeper connection with our presence, with our higher self, with our soul. And the more we cultivate soul, the more we can cultivate our presence and our essence, the more access we have to the reason that we came, the reason that we chose embodiment and decided to be here in this human experience, the more that we have access to our purpose, or what I call our sacred soul plan and our sacred soul signature. Our sacred soul signature is this fabric, it's this essence of our presence. And because it is comprised of energy, it holds within it information about what you're here to do, what you're here to be, to give, to share, to have, to express, to lead. It's all contained within the essence of the truth of who you are. So today we're going to talk about some skill sets that will support you in tuning in and connecting to this yummy essence of your true self. But, before we do that, we're going to call in the light, as we always do. So I just want to invite you wherever you are, unless, of course, you're behind the wheel of the car. I've always got to put in my disclaimer for my podcast. Go ahead and close your eyes and just take a beautiful, deep inhalation. Just letting your breath go, exhaling through the mouth, letting your shoulders drop. Another great big inhalation. And again, letting go, dropping off anything that no longer serves you, letting go of anything you no longer need, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. And in this moment, we put our attention and our hearts on the divine architect, infinite universe. We call ourselves forward into your loving. We ask to be cleared, filled, surrounded, and protected with the clear white light of living love. We ask that any karma, negativity, imbalance, any constriction, contraction, any opinion, false notion, positionality, fixation, gripping, forcing, pushing, any energy or vibrational frequency that is vibrating at anything less than the frequency of divine loving. We ask that all of that just now be lifted and transmuted, carried to the highest realms of light and sound, and dispersed back into the nothingness, into this space. We recognize grace, peace, light, love, joy, upliftment, creativity, purpose, meaning, compassion, understanding, allowing, acknowledgement, and self-loving. We acknowledge and invite in those divine beings of light who love each one of us unconditionally, who work for the divine plan and who work for the light, keeping in mind each of our unique destinies. We welcome your presence here with us today, and we ask for your support and assistance in bringing forward healing, revelation, and wisdom of the heart that will resonate most profoundly with each individual here for their highest good and the highest good of all concerned. We are so grateful for the opportunity to come together and to do this work. And for this and more, we say thank you, and so be it. And just bringing your attention back to the room. Welcome if you're just arriving, if you're just joining us. Spiritual Ambition is the show where you want to have your journal or your notebook next to you, maybe a hot cup of tea, snugged up under a blanket on the couch, getting cozy with yourself, with your heart, just really bringing in some of that loving, that understanding, that tenderness to yourself, that intimacy. That's what we're doing here. We're creating intimacy and gentleness. You know, we live in such a fast-paced world, and everybody is going and pushing and striving and forcing and doing all of the time. And this really is an opportunity to slow it down a click and just taking a deep breath, sending a wave of gratitude to your body for all that it does on your behalf. So, as I mentioned in our opening, today we're going to talk about skill sets. And, you know, I've been a little tricky because I'm unfolding for you the technology, my healing modality, which is called higher integration. And it's all about recalibrating our perceptions. And a couple of weeks ago, we talked about our mindset and the importance of having a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset, and really opening ourselves to new information, new perspectives, new ideas, maybe considering something that we haven't considered before. Then during our last episode, we talked about the heart set And our heart set is really all about this human connection that we have to the higher part of our essence. And it is our heart that brings forward all of the knowingness, right? The things that blow our skirt up, the things that move inspiration through us. We feel that through our heart. When we have a sacred yes, a full body presence to whatever we're hearing or seeing or sensing, we experience that through our heart. And so we really paid homage to the heart. And we did that figuratively and literally, because that was the celebration of love's alchemy for that episode as well. Today, we're going to talk about our skill set. And, I remember the grandfather of coaching, Steve Chandler. He has this very important distinction where he talks about the difference between information and transformation. And especially in a series like this, we can take in a lot of information and we can listen to a lot of podcasts and we can read a lot of books. We can take a lot of classes. We can go attend things and we can take in a lot of information, right? And then I hear this from my clients. I hear this from my family members. Oh, I know that. I know that. But there's a big difference between knowing something in our heads and knowing something as a full body experience. And in order to embody these things that we're learning, these things that we're opening ourselves to, we have to get involved. We have to get messy. We have to give life the opportunity to give us some feedback. We have to be willing to get it wrong. Take that in. Can you hear it? We have to be willing to get it wrong. We have to be willing to fall down. We have to be willing to scrape our knee so that we can learn. We get information that guides us towards what works and what doesn't work, what feels good and what doesn't feel good, what is aligned within us and what isn't. If we want to learn how to play the piano, for example, I think this is drives this point home in an instant. You can read about playing the piano. You can watch videos about playing the piano. You can listen to piano music, but you're never, ever going to learn how to play the piano without putting your fingers on the keys, right? So today we're going to put our fingers on the keys a little bit as it pertains to skill sets in the area of spirituality and skill sets in the area of cultivating our presence. So that's what the show has in store for us, but we're going to begin with one of our most sacred practices that we do together. It takes all of us, and that is our sacred circle of light. Each episode, our community comes together and intentionally sends healing energy and divine loving out and around the globe to people who need it most. So maybe you know someone who is in struggle right now. Maybe they're facing a health challenge, or they have a difficult decision that they've got to make, or maybe there's all kinds of crazy things going on in the world as we know about. Perhaps they were affected by some of the recent changes that we're seeing that are rippling across America. Whoever it is and whatever it is, know that we believe in the power of our loving collectively to uplift and strengthen those that we care about. So if someone in your life could benefit from some healing grace and divine light and our collective intention in sending that directly to them, then you have an opportunity to submit their name onto our official Sacred Healing Light list. And you can do that by going to Spiritual Ambition sacredlight.com. And you can drop their name right in that capture, and we will mention them on our show. And so Erin is my beautiful assistant who is dropping that link in the chat for us right now. But I want to invite each of us to just close our eyes for one moment. And this week, this episode, we are intentionally sending light to Janice, Sheris, Joanne, Diane, Linda, David, and Nicole. And we just hold that intention, and we just ask that love and light be sent up ahead so that each one of these individuals feels our collective light and loving. Thank you. Thank you so much for your participation in that. You know, we underestimate and sometimes we discount entirely how our thoughts, our energies, our prayers actually do reach the recipients that for which they are intended. And I just want to remind you of your power. And, you know, as the vibration on the planet continues to rise, and as we continue along this mass global transformation of consciousness that is taking place on the planet, you've heard this expression, you know, our thoughts create our reality. Well, things are going to get even more real. They're going to get even more real. And what we're doing in Spiritual Ambition is we are really cultivating a more intentional way to use all of our faculties, to apply our humanness in a way that is in service to ourselves and our own lives, as well as in service to the whole. So when you think about that, your thoughts create your reality. You know, when you send a negative thought somebody's way, you're fooling yourself if you think that they're not receiving that, because they are. They absolutely are. And I hope that that gives you pause, because it should. And this is a way for each of us to take a deeper level of responsibility for the thoughts that we have and the energy on which those thoughts travel to wherever it is we're sending them. So again, if you would like to send love and light and upliftment to somebody who you care about, there's no distance too far when our intentional hearts join together in love and light. And again, you can submit your names, and I'll say them live here on the air during our next episode. You can just submit that at spiritualambitionsacredlight.com. So today we're going to do another soul trip, but you know, I want to talk very briefly about my retreat that is coming up in Costa Rica. It's called Connect to Your Essential Nature. And I have just come back from traveling through many very cold states in the United States. I was in California, and I was in Colorado, and I was in New Mexico. I got caught in a snowstorm. I was freezing. I didn't have any mittens. I was trying to hold my hat, and I'm like blowing through all of this freezing cold snow. Whew. All of the people there that are freezing, I'm sending you blessings, because I've been back in Costa Rica for just one day, and already my skin is nice and dewy and soft, and the membranes in my nose are no longer freaked out. So connect to your essential nature. It really is exactly what the name describes. And it's about connection to your essential nature, to your soul, to your higher self. And, I guide women, because this is an experience that is just for women, but I guide women through these spiritual psychology processes that are designed to give you a firsthand experience of your divinity. I'm not going to even mince the words. To give you an experience of your divinity. And speaking from my own experience, when that first happened for me, it changed everything. And it's not something that you come back from the same. Because when you touch into your own limitless nature, when you experience the real vastness and connectedness and true presence of your beingness, it changes you, it alters you. Costa Rica is such a beautiful mirror. She is this wild, ecstatic, untamable entity, this untamable energy. And I know for myself, when I was a corporate marketing executive for 28 years, I spent a lot of energy and a lot of time trying to control things. And those patterns of control are so sneaky that we don't even realize when we're in those patterns of control. But that's what I love about Costa Rica and the jungle and the rainforest is you can't plan for any of it. I put together this beautiful agenda for this retreat, and then I have to completely surrender to the elements, to the weather, to the unpredictable nature of what is unfolding in this sort of remote part of the world. And as I've lived here now for 2.5 years, I have had to relax my grip. And it's very beautiful here. Like right now, there's this very gentle rain that is happening. You can even see it out the window. You see the little rain gutters behind me. And, you feel the little tinkle, tinkle. And it's so soothing for your nervous system. And, on the surface, if you want to learn more about this retreat, you can go to connecttoyouressentialnature.com and you can read about it. And I do still have a couple of spots left. And I know it feels like a really big deal to go to Costa Rica because it's on April 6th, right? So it's coming in a minute. It's going to be here. And maybe as I'm speaking, you're feeling that inner yes, that inner knowing, that draw, that pull that says, you know what, I'm going to be spontaneous and I'm going to not follow logic. I'm going to say yes to an experience that your soul knows will change you. It will change you. All right. I did not intend on talking about this for this long. I want to share with you about our skill sets. And, so this is this idea, and this is really important as it pertains to this show and spiritual ambition and giving yourself this very important time out. Yes, you can listen to this show and you can multitask and you can do empty the dishwasher and do the laundry and putz around and be on your computer, or you can bring all of you to the vibrational essence and frequency that I am transmitting through my consciousness, and you can receive that as a gift, as loving, as upliftment, as joy, just even in the sound of my voice. I bet you can tune in to the loveliness, the peacefulness, the gentleness, the intimacy that I am sharing with you. And so I really want to encourage you to set yourself up in such a way that you can participate. And today I'm going to lead you through a ritual. But, so skill sets. We learn a lot of things when we get one of these bodies, one of these human suits that we wear around as our vehicle through this spiritual experience that we are having as a human being. We have cognitive skill sets, which is about literacy and mathematics and problem solving. We have physical skill sets, which is about our motor skills, like running and jumping, or learning how to tie our shoes or use a pair of scissors. We learn social skill sets, which is everything from sharing to making friends to being able to be in a conversation with someone. We have emotional skill sets. And I'm actually going to do quite a bit of teaching in our show around emotional skill sets, because it is through our emotional body that we open a gateway for a spiritual experience. And today we're not going to do any emotional skill sets, but I just want to give you a little plug for the future that this is definitely an area. Spiritual ambition is a place where you'll be able to tune in and find some of those emotional skill sets. What else do we have? Life skills, right? Like life skills like personal hygiene and self-care, safety skills like how to cross the street and how to drive a car. We learn a lot of things. We're taught a lot of things, and we have this brilliant educational system, right? That we honor and value everyone in that educational system. But we don't talk about spiritual skill sets because people are confused about the difference between spirituality and religion. And, we want to keep religion out of the schools because everybody gets to worship in whatever way they want. But I want to remind us of my definition, the difference between spirituality and religion. Religion is an organized set of beliefs that everyone in the group sort of adheres to and agrees to. Spirituality is the relationship that you have with the energetic part of your being, the relationship that you have with the invisible part of your being. So that leads me to talk a little bit about 3 skills that I'm going to share with you today. One of them is called big acknowledgement. One of them is called big listening. And then I'm going to give you a ritual that is called the pyramid of presence. And we're actually going to do the ritual together. But first, I want to talk about big acknowledgement and big listening. And these skills were derived from my experience at the University of Santa Monica, where I first learned them. And they were called something different, and I've sort of re-engineered them. But I want to share them with you because if you take nothing else away from any of my sharing, I invite you to take away these 2 skill sets. And these 2 skill sets work in every single situation. They work in every single area of your life. They work in every single relationship that you will ever be in, whether that is with the most intimate relationships that you have, whether it be with a parent or a child or your spouse or your lover. Isn't that interesting? Like my train just jumped off the track. And that's how it happens here. And I am live in real time, so I'm not going to try to pretend that I really lost the channel, the stream. It's so interesting. I just got knocked off. Okay. So I was saying that these skill sets will work for you in any relationship. They work in any encounter that you have or will have. And when I open the sacred space for any retreat that I do, for any group experience that we come together in, I ask for everybody's agreement that we're going to practice these two skills. So the first one is called big acknowledgement. Big acknowledgement is this idea that you are a spiritual being having a human experience and not the other way around. And something really magical occurs when you engage with someone and you bring this to mind, you bring this to your awareness, you bring this to your consciousness, and you look in someone's eyes and you think to yourself, wow, you're also a spiritual being making their way through this epic human adventure. And you probably want the same things that I want. And you're probably facing the same or similar challenges that I face. And just by bringing that awareness to the engagement that we're having with someone else, something magical happens. What happens is there's a level playing field that occurs where suddenly it doesn't matter where you're from, how much money you have, what sort of a job you've got or you don't have. It doesn't matter what color your skin is or what your sexual preference or sexual identity is. What matters is that we're in the same club, and that's Club Human. And Club Human reminds us that we are all spiritual beings having this human experience. So my greatest encouragement to you, as well as a little bit of a challenge, I'm going to say, work with this between now and our next episode, which is going to be on April 7th. Work with this and notice when you look in someone's eyes and you bring this awareness to the forefront of your mind, what happens? Do you notice the connection? The connection to your higher wisdom, the connection to your original wisdom, the connection to that individual, whether you know who they are or you don't. It is raining so hard right now, and I have no idea if you guys can, I feel like I'm yelling because I kind of am. Because it is raining like a big Costa Rica rain right now. The rain got louder. Courtney, thank you for that. I know, woo! All right, we're just gonna go with it. I am destined to move this show to an earlier time in the day, because even though it's super fun to say 2:22 p.m. Pacific time, which I love letting that roll off my tongue, at 2:22 p.m. Pacific time, it's either 3 or 4 p.m. here in Costa Rica. And this is the time of day that we get this clearing. We get this beautiful rain. Oh, thanks, Aaron. Aaron says, I just heard the rain and thought my computer had some static. Nope, it's rain. We're live. It's real. I'm here. You're here. And we're going to just go with it. All right. So we just talked about big acknowledgement and being able to practice big acknowledgement when you encounter another human being and you look in their eyes and you bring into your awareness, wow, this person is also a spiritual being making their way through this epic human adventure. Skill number 2 is called big listening. And it's exactly what it is. But I'm going to give you a couple of frameworks. Big listening is when we listen with our full presence. When we listen with our open heart, we listen with no agenda. We listen with no wanting to even exchange with the other person. And I know that seems a little bit crazy, like, well, what am I going to get into a conversation for? And maybe that's exactly the point, that it isn't a conversation. It's a space of receptivity. And there is this idea where 2 or more are gathered, magic happens. And so when you give someone your deep listening, and you are listening to them with the only intention of receiving what they are sharing, spirit enters into that exchange. Don't take my word for it on this. Try it out. Give it a try. Give it a test. Just listen to someone and give them this deep presence of your attention, and give their consciousness your attention in such a way that you're setting a stage for them to unfold. You're setting a platform for that individual to unfold. I know I just said that word twice, right? Because that's literally sort of what happens is when my clients, I'm engaged in these beautiful spiritual coaching conversations, which is how I earn my living and how I serve in the world. I listen in such a way that they are making discoveries and awarenesses and epiphanies within themselves, because I am not interrupting them. Not that I don't interrupt them, because I do interrupt with the strategy of disrupting negative patterns or old storylines, or sometimes I get excited and I do have to get my 2 cents in there. But when we're practicing big listening, it's not about your 2 cents. It's not about trying to get your opinion or your position or your view into the conversation. It's literally about receiving the other person's expression. Receiving the other person's expression. Because we are all these unique, individualized expressions of divine essence in motion in every second of every day. My God, what a marvel. It's such a marvel to witness each other in that exchange. So that's big listening. Give it a try. Let me know how it goes. I'll check in during our next episode and we'll just see how you did. And you're welcome to drop me a line if you had a real experience with this and it's something that you want to be witnessed in or shared. You can email me, donna@donnabond.com. I would love to engage with you about this. All right. Last but not least, and I'm looking at the time here. I want to bring you through a ritual of presence. And this ritual uses the idea of a pyramid. And we're going to use the visualization of a pyramid as a way to practice presence, as a way to bring more presence into our experience. And I want to go out on a limb and suggest to you that you'll be able to receive this by going to Spiritual Ambition Soul Trip two P's, SOULTRIPP.com, spiritualambitionsoultrip.com. And you can download this and you can record yourself reading this ritual and then listen to it every day for 33 days. It's going to take less than 10 minutes. If you listen to this every day for 33 days, it's going to change your experience and it's going to change your life. And I'm going to go out on a limb and promise you that if you really do this uninterrupted for that many days in a row, you will have a change. Okay. Close your eyes and just listen to my voice. And as I just mentioned, this ritual uses the visual of a pyramid to support you in building presence from the foundation upward. Body, breath, and awareness to help you fully establish this practice with an inner reference point. A consistent practice of this simple method is what turns it into a ritual. And you can do this seated or standing. You can keep your eyes open or closed. It's entirely up to you. Presence isn't something that we need to create. It's your natural state of being. And beneath all of the layers of thought and emotion and distraction is where your presence lives. So this ritual is intended to build your connection to your higher self, thus establishing a greater presence of your essence into your physical experience while inviting you out of thought, emotion, and distraction. The first step is the foundation, which is your body. I want you to think about your body as the foundation. Begin by establishing the foundation of your pyramid of presence by visualizing an actual pyramid before you. You might see the color as gold or white or a shimmering iridescence. Allow this pyramid to symbolize inner framework and elevation. Your body is the representation of the physical framework in which your presence lives. Imagine your pyramid of presence now completely surrounding your body. Take a moment now to just feel the weight of your body. Notice where it makes contact with the chair or the floor. Notice how solid you are in your body. Feel your feet on the ground and the gentle pressure of sitting or standing. Even the sensation of clothing on your skin. Now, without trying to change anything, just notice any areas of tension in your body. Just observe them with gentle, loving attention. Allow your shoulders to soften, your jaw to relax, and your hands to open and rest easily in your lap. Your body is always in the present moment. By bringing your attention to the physical sensations, you create a solid foundation in which presence can be sustained. Here, you can feel safe and protected in the center of your pyramid of presence. Your heart and your breath is the next piece. Now, let's fill the middle of your pyramid with your breath, which is emanating from your heart. Bring your awareness to the natural rhythm of your breath. Notice the sensation of air moving through your nostrils, filling your lungs, flowing back out through your heart. There's no need to control or change your breathing. Simply observe its natural pace and depth. Feel the slight pause between each inhale and exhale and the gentle movement of your chest and your abdomen. Breathing from your heart connects the foundation of your body to the higher aspects of awareness, creating stability and sovereignty in your pyramid of presence. The next piece, your peak, your awareness. Complete your pyramid of presence with its peak, pure awareness itself. Become conscious of your consciousness. Notice that something in you is aware of your body sensations, aware of your breath, aware of your heart, and aware of your thoughts as they come and go. This elevated awareness is like a clear sky above your pyramid as you rest at its peak. Spacious and open. Considering thoughts, emotions, and sensations are like clouds passing by and passing through without disturbing your presence. From this peak of awareness, this witnessing presence that is always here, always neutral, always at a higher altitude, expansive, far-sighted, and visionary. Be the witness to this as you. Now experience the wholeness of your pyramid of presence. Feel how all three levels support each other. Your grounded body, your connecting breath, and your elevated awareness. From here, tune in to the natural feelings of greater connection to yourself, to your heart, to your environment, to your deeper knowing, and to your true essence. This pyramid is a foundation from which a deeply connected life can unfold. When you're fully present in the whole of the pyramid, you can truly experience life as it's revealed in the moment. When you're truly present, you're naturally connected to all that is, and that connection is embodied as your experience. Take one final deep breath, and as you exhale, visualize around you your light-filled, brilliant, luminous pyramid of presence. Solid, balanced, integrated, and connected. Make a silent commitment to yourself to return to this pyramid of presence throughout your day. Whether for just a few seconds or several minutes, you can quickly and regularly cultivate your pyramid of presence. Body as foundation, breath as the heart, awareness as the peak. Practice this ritual daily and notice the change in your experience as the structure from which all doing can flow with greater ease, intention, and connection to your original wisdom. Beautiful. All right. Just bringing your attention back to the room. Now we're going to talk about the celebration of love's alchemy. This is a gentle pause to recognize the extraordinary magic that is woven through our everyday lives. And every episode, we take a moment of loving for something that might seem ordinary or contrary at first glance, but it holds within it a spark of brilliance. And we celebrate and we remind ourselves, why on God's green earth did we take a body and come here to human land? So this topic can range from everything from the sweetness to a juicy orange to the blessing of an emotional trigger. We turn our attention to the less obvious causes for celebration and the little things that we may take for granted. Through loving appreciation of our gratitude, we uplift ourselves and our vibration with the power of love, sending ripples of good juju out and across the planet. As alchemists of upliftment, we turn the seemingly mundane into marvels of magnificence, as we see the whole human experience as the alchemy of our wisdom. What we're doing is we are bringing loving to everything, to things that we overlook, that we take for granted. And today, our topic is nothing really in the physical world. Our topic is the topic of sacrifice. Our ego hears that and immediately panics, right? Sacrifice. Oh my God, I've got to give something up. I don't want to sacrifice anything. For your consideration, when we look at sacrifice for the benefit of our spiritual awareness, for the benefit of higher consciousness, what we examine is the sacrifice of things like our opinions, the sacrifice of things like our judgments, our expectations, or our desires. We could even sacrifice hurt feelings. We could sacrifice greed. Each time we consider sacrificing, the big umbrella that we're under is sacrificing patterns of the ego. And this is why the ego, exactly why the ego doesn't like this word, sacrifice even, because it immediately hears, oh my God, I've got to give something up. But sacrifice is actually a divine gift. And when I am willing to sacrifice my self-doubt, I'm then going to show up in my fullness and in my wholeness as a unique, individualized expression of the divine. You know, when you meet someone and they are just completely themselves, right? They don't hold anything back. It's not about what they look like. It's not about how smart they are. It's not about whether they've accomplished anything. You just fall in love with who they are because they exude this authentic and natural expression of themselves. That requires sacrificing playing small, sacrificing a lack of confidence, sacrificing self-doubt. So there's so many different aspects of the personality that we can consider sacrificing. Criticism. Anybody out there? Any big critics in the room? I grew up under the guidance of a great critic, my dear mother, bless her. You know, this is a survival mechanism that we all have, and it's that inner critic that is constantly pushing us, driving us to do something better. And I put that in the air quotes on purpose because that's just another judgment. When we can sacrifice our criticism, then we immediately move into an open place of acceptance. And when we're in an open place of acceptance and we're in cooperation with the way that life is unfolding from moment to moment, it results in more presence. It results in more authenticity. It results in more lightness, more play, more fun, more humor, more yumminess, more good juju. Why? Because we're sacrificing resistance. And the ego is all about resistance because it's always building its wall of protection. So when we can sacrifice the idea that maybe we even need protection, we let go and we open. So that is the celebration of Love's Alchemy today. I hope that that was meaningful for you and that you got something out of it. So our next episode, which will take place on April 8th, no, it's April 7th or April 8th. I don't know. Erin's going to put it in the chat because I'm not looking at the calendar right now, but it's every other Tuesday. Our show happens every other Tuesday. Yeah, it is the 8th, April 8th. I always am misquoting the damn date. I'm so sorry. You got to follow the emails. If you want to get on the list and we can send you an announcement letting you know, like in 22 minutes, we're going to go live. You can go to spiritualambitionshow.com and you can give us your email and we'll let you know when we're going live. Anyways, our next show is about the soul set. And the soul set is the last part of my healing modality called higher human integration, which I'm going to explain the whole thing once we get there. But the soul set is all about the experience. It's all about the experience of life. And so I'm going to just leave that in there as a little nugget. I want to thank you for being here. I want to acknowledge you for doing the ritual with us today. If this is something that would serve you and your practice going forward, again, you can go to spiritualambitionsoultrip.com and you can download a copy of this process. I think eventually I'll probably record it. And then we'll send out the audio to everybody if that would be helpful. But I want to really recommend that you record it in your own vibration and send your vibration out into the planet as a way to share your energetic signature and who you are with the world, the way that you are here to make your unique contribution and what it is that you're here to teach or speak or share or give or create or be. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. I'm your host, Donna Bond. This is Spiritual Ambition, where women tune in to awaken their divine nature. And right this moment, we're going to close the space. So go ahead and close your eyes. We acknowledge each person here, whether they are live or whether you are catching the replay at a later time, just honoring your embodiment as a spiritual being making their way through this epic human adventure that we all share together, keeping in mind the opportunity for big acknowledgement, recognizing that every single soul on the planet shares this commonality and that we are all so much more alike than we are different. Give your whole heart and your whole presence to the people that you love the most and to the new people that you meet in your life by practicing big listening with that full presence to receive the other individual and allow the grace and the magnificence of their being to unfold before you as you give them your attention. We are now closing all energetic lines of communication between any of us, closing all open portals, gateways, channels, agreements, and lines of communication between any of us and the spirit world. We are so grateful for the opportunity to come together and do this work. We are now closing this space in love, with love, for love, by love, as love. Thank you.